Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Talk Network. Welcome here to the Talk Packers with Steve podcast, NFL podcast, where I, a Packer fan, cover all 32 teams, usually under an hour, from a Packer fan perspective. So, welcome, and let's talk about the NFL season that's slowly coming to an end. We are at week 16, 2 more weeks left of football action. Next week is, of course, the final week of the season, week 17. And as week 17 is, they all are divisional games, first off, and all 32 are playing, and all 32 teams in the 16 games are played on one day, played on Sunday. So it's all going down next week, Sunday, the end of the season. Teams might be still fighting for some playoffs, a playoff berth, let alone teams trying to fight for position, jockeying for position, as it's called, for spots in the playoffs, right? Teams that have made the playoffs, teams that are qualified for it, clinch playoff berths, still are trying to play their way to a higher seed. Even teams trying to get a bye, have that bye week, be the top two seeds in the NFC and AFC. So there's a lot to be happening. And as I said last week, each and every week you look at how the playoff structure looking, or how the playoffs will be looking at the end of week 15, at the end of week 16, and then of course officially at the end of week 17, how the playoffs are set up and go, and who are in the playoffs. Unfortunately, my team, the Green Bay Packers, were eliminated 2 weeks ago by being defeated by the Arizona Cardinals and then the Chicago Bears. But still, last week, a couple weeks ago, I guess officially eliminated last week with loss to the Bears. But 3 weeks ago, losing to Arizona, beating Atlanta, but then losing to Chicago. We needed to win out and a lot of help. But that 1% went down to 0%, and we were officially eliminated from the playoffs last week. So the Packers being out of it, and Rodgers' injury, I think it would be best for the Packers to shut him down. But Rodgers is Rodgers, and as quarterbacks are, all of them, not just him, are some arrogant and wanting to keep playing, saying he's going to keep playing. Whether that's best for him, best for the team, best for whatever, I don't know. I would think it'd be better for him to shut it down, but he is the star quarterback, so he does really in the end what he wants. Because I don't see the head coach or the authority figures there in Green Bay having the cojones to tell Rodgers no. I mean, they were able to finally say that to Brett Favre in the end, but that's just because it got so out of hand with retiring and not retiring. I do say Brett Favre is still the number one quarterback in Green Bay. It's history, but that's just me. Maybe that's just generational thinking as a Packer fan and shareholder. But let's go over Week 15 results. For Thursday night, we had the Chargers over the Chiefs, which feels like it's been so long ago, but it was just this past NFL week. It was truly a full week ago. Chargers over the Chiefs, 29-28. Texans over the Jets on Saturday, 29-22. Also, Chargers clinched playoff berth for the first time since 2013. Texans over the Jets, 29-22. Hosting Houston, 10-plus win season for a third time in its franchise history. Browns over the Broncos, 17-16. Browns' first win. I guess the Broncos since the year of 1990. Titans over the Giants, 17-0. Derrick Henry, 6 rushing touchdowns in the last 2 games. Vikings over the Dolphins, 41-17. Vikings win first game versus the Dolphins since the year of 2002. Washington 16, Jacksonville 13. Dustin Hopkins hit a game-winning field goal, 36 yards to win for Washington to get a win on the road and have their slim playoff hope still alive. And the reason for that is because the Colts defeated the Dallas Cowboys 23-0. Not just surprising that Dallas lost, but lost in that fashion. 23-0 to Indianapolis. Indianapolis getting the win. Cowboys shut out for the first time since Week 11 of 2013. Or 2003, sorry. Week 11, 2003. Bengals over the Raiders, 30-16 in the Battle of already eliminated teams. Mixon, 100 rushing yards in second straight game, in 2 straight games, first time in his career. And as I said, the Bears defeating the Packers 24-17. The Bears have clinched their first NFC North title since 2010. That year, the Packers made it as a wild card, beat the Vikings in Week 17, then beat the Vikings in the wild card, and went on to beat the Bears in the NFC title game. I think that's how that went. And won the Super Bowl. Either way, I think if I remember correctly, it was Packers Bears in the NFC title game, and the Packers got the win and went to the Super Bowl and defeated the Steelers that year, winning Super Bowl 45. But this time around, the Bears clinching their NFC North title. Unlike 2010, the Packers aren't in it. It'll be the Minnesota Vikings that might be playing in the Packers role if the Vikings make the playoffs. Can the Vikings do what the Packers did in 2010 and get that wild card spot and making it all the way to the Super Bowl, and by doing so defeating the Bears in the process? Maybe. Hey, all you have to do is be in the dance, be part of the contest, I call it, for a chance to win. Then it's all there. Hold on, I'm getting a phone call. Sorry, everybody. I have to go away for a short time. I will be back here. I won't end this, but I'll be back here shortly. Speak soon. All right, everybody. Sorry for that very long delay. I'm sure you'd hopefully fast forward all the way to here. I'll be back on camera here in a couple seconds. I get myself situated again. I had to help my family out with stuff. They're going to some Christmas parties and had to assist them in loading up vehicles and fetching them things. So here they go. But anyways, welcome back. And look, I'm back on my normal location, in a sense, here upstairs, with the painting there, right there. There it is. And the oil painting there right behind you. Anyways, I was leading off with the Bears at Packers. Sorry, kind of ironic because I was see my shirt for the Packers. They're eliminated. Moving right along. Bills 14, Lions 13. Bills wide receiver Robert Foster, 108 receiving yards and a touchdown in that game. I think the Bills to win. Ravens over the Buccaneers 20-12. Lamar Jackson 4-1 at the start of the season and could have been 5-0. Almost beat the Chiefs in their contest. Falcons over Cardinals 40-14. Tevin Coleman 145 rushing yards, career high. 49ers getting the win over Seattle 26-23. First 49ers win over the Seahawks since week 14 of 2013. So not so long ago, but long enough ago for the 49ers, 2013. Still years back, still more than 4 years back, so I guess it's still a significant amount of time for the 49ers. And a win against the Seahawks, especially this 49er team. Surprising the Seahawks and getting the win. Seahawks still have a chance to be in the playoffs, but they could have clinched, I think, a playoff berth. They beat San Francisco. Pittsburgh starting the Patriots 17-10. New England lost 2 straight December games for the first time since all the way back in 2002 when this dynasty started. And back, well, actually before then, because 2002 is when I graduated from 8th grade heading into as a freshman, September 2002 as a freshman in high school. So December 2002, I would have been, enjoying halfway through my freshman year of high school. Enjoying, not enjoying, I don't remember what my feelings were in December 2002 specifically, but it was still a holiday season, and I'm sure it was grand for me then, I assume. Anyways, Eagles over the Rams 30-23, another surprising victory from last week. Philadelphia beating the Rams. Rams lost 2 straight games for the first time since 2016. Which was literally just last season. So, Saints over the Panthers, 12-9. Carolina had a chance to still get into the playoffs, and technically, mathematically, they're still in it, but they are shutting down Cam Newton moving forward. Are the Rams no longer invincible? And are the Patriots done in regards to going to the Super Bowl as often as they are? See, I have a handy-dandy notebook where I have, even though they say it on TV anyway, so I don't have to do it, but I have my own notebook of all 32 teams, all, the number of times they've gone to the Super Bowl. There's only 4 teams, I think, maybe now 3, but there were 4 teams. Yeah, now it's down to 3 with the Eagles that went to the Super Bowl last year and won it. So I'm sure the Eagles are one of few that, on their very first try as a franchise, going to the Super Bowl, getting a win. I'm sure it's happened before, but that's obviously the most notable one because it just happened this past season. Anyways, there's only 3 other teams that haven't gone to the Super Bowl. That's the Cleveland Browns, the Buffalo Bills, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars could have last year. They were so close. Anyways, then there's my list of teams that have won the Super Bowl, and the Patriots are one of the top teams there with a high amount of winning the Super Bowl, let alone a high amount of times they've attended and went to the Super Bowl during the Brady Belichick era, or in general, the franchise. Of course, it's the whole franchise of the Patriots. And of course, with the winning the Super Bowl, there's a laundry list of teams that haven't won the Super Bowl. But of course, you have teams that have gone to the Super Bowl and lost. So who have been there before. The Chiefs themselves in franchise history have been to the Super Bowl a couple of times. Seattle has as well. Arizona's been to the Super Bowl, but lost to Pittsburgh in that year's Super Bowl. So, yeah, there you go. Anyways, that is for weeks 15 and now moving on to week 16 and predicting things and how things will go and how the playoff picture looks. After I go through my predictions of week 16, I'll talk about the playoff picture in itself. And let's start with today's game. The first one actually going to be kicking off in 2 hours from now, about maybe 2.5 hours from now, as it's noon central. Lunchtime. I'll have some lunch after I'm done with this. We have the 7-7 Washington team against the 8-6 Titans. Titans 5-1 at home this season, 3-5 on the road. I actually am going to have Washington getting the win. I still want them to be the division champions, honestly, to be quite honest. Unfortunately, what happened with their starting quarterback going down, Alex Smith, and allocated quarterbacks in the past 2 weeks for Washington, but I got a surprise victory for them, 13-6, Washington over Tennessee. The other Saturday game from today, the 8-6 Ravens against 11-3 Chargers. Chargers won 10 of the last 11 games. I'll have LA Chargers over the Ravens 23-20. Last second field goal for the win. And the Ravens trying to hold on to that final playoff spot. We have the 10-4 Texans against the 7-7 Eagles. Houston 10+ winning streak in a season for the third time in franchise history. I have the Texans defeating the Eagles, getting the win there, 26-13. Packers Jets. Aaron Rodgers will be playing. Jets defense will be playing as well. I have the Packers over the Jets, 42-23 in that matchup. Packers, one of 2 teams without a road win this season. Well, instead of going winless in that regard, we'll get a win at least here and win on the road against the Jets. It might not mean anything for the playoffs, but it'll mean something for our team and in a sense for the season, team history in regards to this 2017 season. Or 2018 season, sorry. Heading into 2019. The 5-9 Bills against the 9-5 Patriots. Patriots only team without a home loss this season, 6-0. The Browns wide receiver Josh Gordon decided to step away from football and definitely suspended from the NFL as well. So them being down on wide receiver, I still think things will pick up and Patriots will be on that back on a roll. Getting the win against Buffalo here, 35-22, 35-20. Patriots over Bills. 7-6-1 Vikings won 5-9 Lions. Against the Packers, 5-8-1 Packers against the 4-10 Jets. I forgot to say that there. But the Vikings against the Lions, 7-6-1 Vikings, 5-9 Lions. Kirk Cousins, not Nick Cousins. Kirk Cousins, 17 giveaways this season, tied for the most in the NFL. I have the Vikings over the Lions, 23-20 in that matchup. We got the 5-9 Buccaneers against the 8-6 Cowboys. Cowboys clinch. Sorry about that. Things acting like a jabroni sometimes. Cowboys can clinch the NFC East with a win, while I see Tampa Bay having the surprise of the century in a sense. Tampa Bay getting the win 13-10 over Dallas in that matchup. So do I think that's going to happen? No, but I'm predicting in a sense of what I want, at least in that game. The 6-8 Bengals against the 6-7-1 Browns. The Browns looking to sweep the Bengals for the first time since 2002. We were just talking about that. I was a freshman in high school during the fall and winter of 2002. Graduating 8th grade there in the summer of 2002. Anyways, Browns getting the best of the Bengals. Browns still having a slim chance of getting into the playoffs. I had the Browns over the Bengals and sweeping Cincinnati in a 24-20 contest. The 5-9 Falcons against the 6-8 Panthers. Panthers still on a skid because the Panthers are the only team in the NFL without a win since Week 10. I've got the Falcons over the Panthers. Another loss to Carolina since they are shutting down Cam Newton. Atlanta over Carolina, 42-23. 4-10 Jaguars, 7-7 Dolphins. Dolphins still in the hunt for the playoffs, though didn't help themselves with last week's loss. Miami, 189.5 passing yards per game, the season lowest of an Adam Gase in the Adam Gase era. But I got the Dolphins over the Jaguars, 13-10 in that matchup. The 5-9 Giants and the 8-6 Colts. Colts won 7 of the last 8 games after starting 1-5. Getting hot. Their team always trying to be like the Colts or be like the Patriots, where on a winning streak in December, or getting that momentum revving. And this is the best time of the year for your team to have that momentum going and going into playoffs. That's why sometimes it seems more like that the Super Bowl winner will come from the wild card, because they had to fight so much in every game they were playing from week 14 on, or 15 on, or just 16 and 17, and those final weeks of the season, that they had to keep winning to get in the playoffs. They keep that mentality, as I'm sure all teams have anyways, of that in the playoffs. And I do believe in momentum. I do believe in locker talk and chalkboard material and all that other stuff, how that motivates a team, whether it does actually specifically in the outcome of game, but subconsciously. It's all about psychology in a sense. So I do believe in that, at least to a degree. But yes, I have the Colts over the Giants. They're getting the win 13-10. Next up, we got 10-4 Bears against the 4-10 49ers. 49ers, though, are 7-1 in December games in the Shanahan era since 2017. But that's not going to be the case here, getting a loss. For the Niners, against the Bears defeating San Francisco on the road, though in a close game. Close game, though, 24-20 being the final. Rams Cardinals, 11-3 Los Angeles Rams against the 3-11 Arizona Cardinals. Jared Goff, 10 giveaways in the last 4 games. I got Arizona losing to LA. The Rams over Arizona 42-23 there. 8-5-1 Steelers against the 12-2 Saints. Saints clinching home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. If they win, well, this is a hard one. I don't want Pittsburgh to win, nor do I want New Orleans to win. I don't want New Orleans being the number 1 seed, honestly. But I would take one with the other. I'll go with the Saints over the Steelers 27-23. That contest. And in my game of the week, we got the Kansas City Chiefs battling the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. The 11-3 Chiefs heading to Seattle, Washington. They faced the 8-6 Seattle Seahawks. Chiefs 24 plus points in 19 straight games. Who do I have winning here? No, actually, I have the Seattle Seahawks winning, which will help the LA Chargers, in the sense of the AFC side of things. But I have the Seahawks getting the win 35-28 in that contest. Game-winning touchdown, 35-28. Seattle over Kansas City. Yes. Then Monday Night Football, we got the 6-8 Broncos against 3-11 Raiders. Raiders 12 sacks this season, fewest in franchise history. But I do have Oakland getting the win. Low-scoring game as well, 12-9. Oakland over Denver in that contest. That contest there. And here we go. And they actually are doing this, as I would say, if the season ended today. If the season ended on this very day, that is Saturday, December 22nd, 2018. And with the playoff percentages, we have 70% for the Vikings, 55% for the Steelers. Sorry, I was looking at my phone. 51% for the Ravens, 33% for the Eagles. So if the playoffs started today and if the season ended today, the divisional playoffs would be Kansas City Chiefs as a 1 seed, the Chargers as a 2 seed. The matchups would be the Baltimore Ravens against the Houston Texans. Baltimore being a 6 seed, Texans being a 3 seed. Pittsburgh against New England. Pittsburgh being a 5 seed, New England being a 4 seed. And like I said, the Chargers and Chiefs would be the ones in a bye. But that wouldn't really work because the Chargers and Chiefs are in the same division. So I actually have to revisit what that would actually look like. Teams still in the hunt. We got Cleveland Browns, Bengals, Dolphins are the only ones left in the hunt. More so Miami and Cleveland. But we have some teams there left in the hunt for the AFC side. And as for the NFC side, if the playoffs ended today, right now the number 1 seed would be the Saints. Number 2 would be the Rams. The matchups would be the Vikings versus the Bears. And look at that. 6 seed would be the Vikings, 3 seed being the Bears. And you have Seattle against Dallas. There. The 5 and 4 seeds. respectively, with the same division or same record. Teams still in the hunt. We got the Eagles and the Redskins left in the hunt because the Giants, Packers, Panthers, and Lions, along with the Falcons last week or 2 weeks ago, being eliminated from playoff contention. And Tampa Bay as well, because they had a mathematical chance last week, but no longer. So that's how that looks. So that's actually kind of cool. If those matchups actually happened, or if the playoffs actually started today, those matchups actually look pretty intriguing. Steelers against Patriots, you just faced them last week, or this past week. So now you're going to the playoffs and you're facing again. Again, it's just, after week 15, after those Sunday and Monday night games, boom, ended this. If the season ended that way, these are the matchups. You have the Vikings and the Bears, divisional matchup in the first round playoff. That in itself is very muy interesante. So, look forward to seeing how that all goes down moving forward. But, anyways, hope you all have a great rest of your evening. Happy holidays. I'll see you guys in my next video next week. And above all else, as always, take care.